Hey there, welcome to FarmCraft. I've got a project coming up. I need a bunch of copper. I've got a bunch of old copper pipe like this, but it's actually got paint on it. It's dirty. It has fittings where they've, used solder. And I don't want the solder, even though that's mostly tin, there's some other metals in there. I don't want that messing up my alloy. So I need to remove that. So I've got a process that I do to prepare this for melting. It's better to condense this into a tighter area so I can drop more of it into the crucible at a time instead of doing all these little pieces and waiting for them to melt. First thing I want to do is get this solder area off of there. So I'm just putting it in my vise and breaking it off. So there's a little bit right there. Yes, I'm being a little anal about this, but what I'm making is pretty important. It's going to be a cannon. It's got to hold pressure. So I want to get it right. So now I'm going to flatten it out. There you go. Little chunk of copper. I keep it short so that it'll easily fit down inside the crucible. And I've also got a bunch of old stuff. This is windings from old motors, copper tubing from an old heat exchanger, fittings, little bits of copper pipe. I'll melt all that. So what we're looking at here is a cannon. Can't you see it? It's in there. I actually have an excess of copper. I need 44 pounds of it. This is somewhere around 60. I need to melt all this down and make ingots. So that is all of this. This is my tin. That's 4.5 pounds of tin. This is brass. I need 5 pounds of that. This, that, and then enough copper to make 50 pounds will be the proper mix for gunmetal. So there's my cannon. Don't think it's going to shoot like that. Probably need to work on it a little bit first. hopefully this is going to come out. Or it's not. That's what I was worried about. All right. So I was hoping I'd be able to pour an ingot, dump it, pour another one, dump it, but not going to work. So I'm going to put the furnace on low and figure out some other way to make ingots really quick. Once this really cooled off, I was able to get it out, and I just made some circular ingot molds out of green sand there. So this one right here had one of those chunks fall out of it. I actually think that's more solidified copper than it is slag and dross, but I'll probably grind it off or something. The rest of them look pretty good. I was going to use these if I still had some left over, but I didn't. So all this other stuff here I'm going to remelt in my next batch. So it's been about maybe 5 minutes. You're better off to get this stuff out of here because it really cooks the green sand, takes all the moisture out of it and makes it harder to prepare for the next time. Also got this guy. Nice looking ingot. I think I froze up my propane cylinder. That's what a frozen cylinder looks like. The whole bucket's hot, I can't even touch it. Whew! It's some kind of hot. So a lot of people ask if I can remelt the slag and get more copper out of it. And usually the answer is no. There sometimes is a little bit of metal in here, here's a previous brass melt, and there's definitely some brass in there. And that just might be a matter of I needed to be a little hotter. This one that I just did, this is the slag, and it's not metal. It's it's a combination of the flux that I put in there, the impurities, and possibly even some of the crucible dripping down and going into the melt. So yeah, I mean, that's not metal. There's no use for that. And here's one of the pieces. Some of that fell down on top of this one. So yeah, I can just chip it off of the top. Because that slag, of course, is a lot lighter than the copper, so it's going to float when it's molten. Alright, so before melting, this was 57 pounds. Wow. 55 and 3 ounces. So I found a combination that'll give me exactly 40.5 pounds, which is what I need. That's my cannon. And this is what I have left over. Alright, so this is all that copper. These are the 2 pieces that I have left over. So that is 40.5 pounds.